businesses that have worked massively for the African billionaire. Africa is a continent that has over the decades been observed to have most of its countries either being underdeveloped or still developing. This has created the impression that these countries, therefore, have their citizens being the poorest across the globe. Despite these assumptions, the continent of Africa has seen a vast distribution of natural resources across its lands. These natural resources can serve as tools to be used for great riches, wealth, and development. Though this may be the assumption, it goes without saying that the continent has seen its own fair share of individuals who have made good use of what is around them to make riches and wealth for themselves, their family, and their generations yet unborn. Individuals including Aliko Dangote, Mike Adenuga, and others have proven the value of utilizing the resources available on the continent to their advantage. But the question asked by many, most of the time, is how these individuals manage to get this rich despite all the negativity in business on the continent of Africa. Let's be truthful. One thing Africa has not shown is the ability of its governments to empower its youth. Despite the fact that these people have achieved riches and wealth, the dream of the ordinary youth, most of them had support. These forms of support came either in the form of money to start the investment or business guidance to help them do well. Others were also privileged enough to have it being handed over to them. Nonetheless, they also worked to sustain and multiply it. If the African youth has support and guided, they can likely achieve great feats in the world of business as these great men have. This is because Africa is a place with vast amounts of resources and a place that an individual or business can easily flourish if they are well guided. It is therefore not surprising that the continent has seen a lot of foreign investments coming in over the past decades. What businesses have made African billionaires rich? Oil and gas. The earth depends so much on oil and gas for a lot of activities. From transport to telecommunication, electricity, mining, construction, manufacturing and so much more, oil and gas is an essential commodity that cannot be undermined, a resource that the whole world is in need of. The foundation of businesses is to identify or create a need and then supply the demands required to meet that need. The likes of Femi Odola and Aliko Dangote are among the few people who have made quite huge riches from their involvement in the oil and gas supply chain. Oil prices across the globe are bound to always go up as there will always be increasing demand with an ever-increasing population. This makes it a venture that when well strategized can be very beneficial and worthy to the undertaker. These high-level businessmen will usually involve themselves with either the importation of the processed oil for sale or refine it, in the case of Aliko Dangote, both of which can be very beneficial. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you have enough money to invest in the oil industry, it would most likely be a great and worthy venture for you on the African continent. You can always begin by setting up your own fuel and gas dispersion stations or purchase vehicles to supply others. All you need is to get someone to teach you how to go about it and whatever you need to know. Sugar. If you ever thought sugar was just for your porridge, tea or coffee, then sorry to say you were very mistaken. Sugar is a commodity that is very much used in the production of a lot of industrial products. The consumption of soft drinks and even some alcoholic beverages continues to be on the increase as more and more people enjoy consuming it. Coffee, tea and porridge are no exception when it comes to consumption and as such, the need for the use of sugar. These industries have made it necessary for an increase in the production of both raw and processed sugar components. This has made the sugar business a worthy venture to engage in. One of the problems that may face an initial investor in this sector is the production of raw sugarcane and access to machinery to be used for processing. Nonetheless, if an investor is able to meet these requirements, they should be able to start a profitable venture that could lead to gaining riches and wealth. If you would like to venture into this form of business, you would need all the guidance available and the best of luck. Mining, gold, diamond, bauxite. Mining can be one of the most profitable and fulfilling business ventures you could endeavor into if you have the manpower alongside the machinery. Africa is one of the few continents blessed with abundant mineral resources. A country like Ghana, formerly known as Gold Coast, is rich in resources comprising of gold, diamond and bauxite. Most of the continent's richest have mining as one of their major endeavors. Gold is the world's greatest currency commodity and as the basics of exchange, and thus anyone involved in it is likely to do well and make riches. But to begin mining and extraction of these resources requires various essential factors, mostly depending on the country in which the mining activity is taking place. These factors will usually involve a mining license, a land consent and other documentations, as well as the machinery that would be required to begin. Despite the challenges these factors may pose, mining and doing so in a legal way can be very rewarding in terms of the financial gains. Cement production. One of the dreams and basic essential need of almost everyone on this earth is to be able to acquire a house of their own. According to Maslow's theory of needs, the need for shelter is a basic necessity and people love to gain it in style. The fact is that, no matter how expensive building a house may cost, or the number of people who may be undertaking a building project at a time, the use of cement is a basic requirement in constructing the building from start to finish. From hotels, to restaurants, industries, factories, hotels and other buildings, the need for cement will likely never go down. This goes to say that, the cement production industry is one lucrative industry you can venture into if only the funds are available for you to purchase the necessary production machinery, vehicles and human resources required. If you want to see how far you can go with cement production in Africa, take a look at how far Aliko Dangote has come with his Dangote cement business, you will be marveled. Drinks, alcohol, and beverage industry. If you ever felt like you were consuming a lot of drinks and beverages, there are a lot more people who consume even much more than you do. The beverage industry is increasingly growing and does not appear to be decreasing anytime soon, a business that people have made a lot of money from. In fact, there are several times in the year where there is shortage of these products across various countries in Africa. Imagine if you could meet such demands. Starting a drink and beverage industry is one of the easiest to set up as compared to the previously mentioned industries, as production can even be done on a manual scale, only that it will move slowly. Nonetheless, it is one of the most lucrative business endeavor you can ever undertake. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you have quite a substantial amount of money and you are looking at what to use it for, you should consider the drinks and beverage industry, as it can be very lucrative and rewarding.